Heathens, and welcome to my channel. I am Beauty Heathen, and welcome to today's reading. And if you are a normal subscriber, yes, I am aware I did not upload today, which is Monday when I'm recording this. Every so often the weight of the world just gets a little bit too heavy, and when that happens, sometimes it's just best to let yourself rest. So that's what I did. So I hope you can forgive that. Today's reading, I'm focusing on what field will best help you recover after all of this is said and done, and after we are supposed to get back to normal. I know a lot of people are displaced right now. A lot of people have lost their jobs. So I'm trying my best to figure out, especially during this time of uncertainty and everything, ways that I can try to help give people guidance, especially during times when they feel they're most lost. Now, keep in mind that I do know what these cards are, but I don't know what order they are in, and I'm actually shuffling them and mixing them up on screen because I actually purposefully pulled these specific cards out of the Past Life Oracle cards deck so that I had careers. And this is especially for those who may be looking at a job change, whether or not it's because of this situation, or those who may have to have a change in career because of this situation. Give me one moment. My smoke cleansing is going a little bit haywire, so I'm just going to put that out. It's what I get for not coming up yesterday and doing a smoke cleansing and all that kind of stuff when I was not in a good headspace. Whenever that happens, it goes a little bit crazy. Whew, that was strong. It was getting out of hand. So I'm going to lay these 8 cards out. I tried to get something from each field. Granted, not all fields are here. There's going to be people who may be more suited to service of some sort. I grabbed what career-focused cards I could. Let me put it that way. So these are the 8 cards. Let me go ahead and put crystals. Let me just give you a moment to go ahead and pause the video here if you want to try to discern which card or cards you want before I put crystals on them. Okay. Now, let's see. I'm feeling black tourmaline. Rose quartz. Angel aura quartz. Malachite. Let me just reach over for more crystals. Herkimer diamond. Heat treated amethyst or citrine. And amethyst. I think that's... Oh, I forgot one. Sorry about that. Okay, rainbow moonstone. I'm human. It happens. Okay. So here are the 8 cards. I don't know what order things are in, so the reading will be as neutral and clear as possible. So we have Amethyst is group 1. Rose Quartz is group 2. Malachite is group 3. Black Tourmaline is group 4. Citrine is group 5. Herkimer Diamond is group 6. Angel Aura Quartz is group 7. And Rainbow Moonstone is group 8. Feel free, let me give you a moment of quiet to choose your cards. Okay, and with that, on to the readings. Amethyst, here is your reading. So with everything going on, whether you're looking for a change of career or whether you are currently displaced and most likely going to go into a different career as a result, this is going to be the career that is going to be most suited for you after everything is said and done, to help you recover. Whether or not that's a career you decide to permanently stay in, that's another story. But this is one that should be allow you to at least recover financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all that kind of stuff. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope this reading might make a little bit of sense. So first is transportation. Transportation can mean many things. It could be you become a bus driver, be it city, school, anything thereof, taxi, Uber, Lyft, any number of those things. You could even be a wheelchair transport for the city, helping disabled people or the elderly get to and from their appointments and weekly shopping. So let's use the energy oracle cards to try to discern a little bit more about this. What do you have to say to group 1? Perhaps it is your more extroverted person, and after having so much isolation during this time period, maybe being in transportation to some degree will help you reconnect with people. You know? Transportation could also mean even driving a truck, delivery, man, my herbs refuse to go out. Apparently I either really need it or something. Alright, there's 1, 2, 3. Forgive my coughing. The smoke is literally blowing in my face right now. Would you kindly just go out? Thinking man. Blossoming abundance. So this will be potentially fruitful for you. Angel of Balance, I get the feeling has to do with work, life, emotional balance. Yin and Yang, it's another balance card. And 7th chakra is about, that's your crown chakra, which I believe is about intuition and connecting to the higher energy sources. Let me just verify that one real quick. I swear this smoke is driving me crazy. And I can't even touch it because the thing that I put over it to try to get it to put itself out is hot. 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, is about spirit connections, intuition, and inspiration. I just randomly heard that maybe some of you are looking at doing it writing. Maybe this interaction with people will help you get inspiration. Just relating the information as it comes. So it's definitely talking about bringing higher awareness, guidance, intuition. My goodness. Huh. Okay. So it seems like whatever form of transportation this is in, there is going to be a male of some sort. Thinking man usually happens to do with a male teacher or spiritual leader, something of that nature. It could even be that the transportation you may be going to do happens to be truck driving, so you have to go back to school and get a CDC license, I believe is what it's called. Don't quote me on it. But I do know that driving tractor trailer trucks and that kind of thing require a special license, so that may be something that you need to go back to school to do. But I am seeing that it bringing balance and financial abundance to you. Let me just see. As always, I shuffle live and I pull whatever decks call to me from each group. I know one thing. After your video, I don't know how I'm going to put this out, but I'm going to find a way. To group 1. Okay. Come on. Show the world the real you. Yeah, see, I get the feeling that this is going to bring, help you express whatever may have been pushed down during this time of isolation. It's time to take action in Aries, and you're very close to achieving your goal. So even if this is an intermediary step between, this is maybe just in between what you have to do for what you want to do, this is going to help you do that. And with the Blossoming Abundance card, I get the feeling that if this is not the path you want to permanently stay on, it's going to allow you to raise the funds to either go back to school and study what it is you want, or at least allow you to be comfortable enough while you explore other avenues. Okay. Transform, emerge with beauty and grace from your cocoon. Growth, the tallest oak tree started as a seedling. Don't be afraid to start something new. And trust, the robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. So, all of these signs are saying that some form of transportation position will help you at the end of everything. So I hope that this reading finds you well. I hope this may help give you some form of guidance and something to look forward to, and even a starting point while you're in this time of transition. And yeah. If this resonated with you, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And before you leave, I would greatly appreciate it if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button before you go. And with that, brightest blessings and blessed be. Group 2, Rose Quartz, welcome to your reading. So, this reading is supposed to help guide you with what career path or what field of study will help you best recover after everything is said and done. I know a lot of people are displaced from their present positions and their jobs. You could even be employed now and just be wanting to change of pace. So this is supposed to help guide you for what job will best help you recover on the road of recovery. So even if it's not a permanent position or something that you're not 100% interested in, this is at least like a middle ground and a beginning starter point. Sorry. If you have want something funny, go ahead to group 1, and I have been literally sitting here for 15 minutes after I ended that video just trying to get the herbs that I had lit for a smoke cleanse to finally go out, because my entire room is smoked up and my eyes are burning as a result. Wow. They just wouldn't go out, so whew. Now let's see what card you pull. Knighthood. Now Knighthood, when I put this card in the grouping, my intention with Knighthood was anywhere from, could be military service, it could be law enforcement, some sort of service position. Be it military, law enforcement, or otherwise. It could even be a security guard. So, let's see what the Energy Oracle deck has to tell you about this. What do you have for book 2? As always, I shuffle live. I'm trying to keep these somewhat short because the video is going to end up long regardless. So, just a quick guidance. More. Forgive the background noise. I live on a very noisy street and people are not self-quarantining like they should be. Anyone else having difficulty right now with people suddenly being more prevalent on the roadways? Ooh, deceit. Could be private investigator. Happy family. Interesting combination. Man holding a coin. So it's going to be fruitful. Second chakra, I believe, is the solar plexus. Or is it sacral? I always get them confused. Let's see. Card 36. Second chakra is about intimacy and creativity. Why am I getting a very, very strong private investigator feeling from this? Or investigation of some sort. Because it's about intimacy and creativity. Very interesting. See, I didn't say that one initially, but cards say where they... Victory. Okay. So it's very much looking like private investigator, more type energy here. Because here we have investigative, deceit, and happy family. You know, things aren't always what they seem. Very interesting combination here. Very, very interesting. I'm just mixing back in the cards that I drew from last group so I don't accidentally just deal them back out. Now, I think in many states, don't get me wrong, it may not be true for every state, but I think in many states you have to apply for a private investigation license. In order to be able to do the surveillance work that you'll have to do. You could even, this could also have to do with like internet security. For a corporation. So if computers is something that you're interested in, you might want to look at delving into some classes, even online, for learning internet security. The energy is gaining momentum. Believe in the impossible. Win-win outcome is in the forecast. So this definitely is giving me more of a private investigation, security type situation that I could see working, whether you're somebody who likes doing more hands-on work or if you're more in the IT field. And internet security is a huge thing, and it's a marketable skill to have. And it's something that has become more and more increased in positions. Let's see what Whispering Woods have to say to you. The night. Find comfort in the night, where the world switches off and the stars burn bright. Many times people who do private investigation work may have to do overnight surveillance. Resilience. Stay strong as the evergreen trees. And humility. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. So yeah, if this is a field that you've never considered delving into, or if it's a field that maybe just in general you're really good at investigating things and you don't get paid for it. I know my best friend is one of those people that, you know, if I'm like, what about this person? All of a sudden, 5 minutes later, she has a litany of information on them. I don't know how she does it. I don't know where she gets her information. Frankly, I don't think I want to know, because sometimes her investigative skills are a little bit scary. But if you are one of those types of people, this might be the thing for you. Be it online or in person with an actual license and taking on clients. Keep in mind that could work corporately. You could work with legal firms. You could work with, I mean, the world is your oyster with this. Ironic how I initially started off with police and military service, and it took a sideline into a place I didn't expect. So, see how that works? I hope this gave you some sort of insight and help. If this resonated with you, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And if you have not done so already, please do like, comment, and subscribe before you go. It would mean so much to me. And until next time, brightest blessings and blessed be. Malachite, welcome to your reading. Now, this reading is generally intended, especially for those who are currently displaced with current world events, and you may be out of your job currently in a time of transition, or you could be currently employed and just looking for something else. So either way, this is meant to help guide you as to which field would likely bring you the most, even not necessarily happiness, but benefit. Even if it's something that you've never considered before, even if it's something that you may not entirely be interested in and may just be a stepping stone onto something that you're really passionate about and something that you really, really want to do. This is just the field that is likely to bring you the most benefit. So, with that, the arts, one of my favorite fields. I'm a musician when I'm not working my day job and all that kind of stuff. Although I fully admit I haven't been as participation with my music and all of that kind of stuff recently, but you know, things happen. So what do you have to say to group 3? I'm basically using the same 3 decks of cards for each person tonight. I'm trying to keep the readings a little bit quick and short, mainly because I figure once you have the job, the world is basically your oyster. Arts could be anything really to do with arts. You could even be a teacher of the arts in some form, whether it's a music tutor. You could be a literal artist with any form of medium on the face of the planet. You could be a musician. You could be a writer. You know, the arts is not one thing. There's so many different avenues to go down. You could be a producer. You could be a songwriter. This is just meant to give you some sort of guidance, like if you are part of unemployment, I know can be going back to school. If that becomes part of it, this may be something you want to look at. Try to take this opportunity and turn it into something positive and something that you love and something that you want to do. Or at the very least, have it be something that allows you to pursue something else that you're passionate about. So let's see, storm warning. Financially beneficial. Fourth chakra is the heart chakra. That's passion. Broken heart. Interesting. I'm getting very much music, you know, singers, songwriter, artists, all of these people, usually the two things that come in are, you know, troubling life or my broken heart, usually serve as mediums to anxiety. So this may be something that's scary for you. Walking away. Fifth, that's throat chakra and journey. So this may not even necessarily be the easiest path for something, but it is going to be financially beneficial. Walking away could very much be, if you are currently employed, you're walking away from your current employment into something else. Storm warning, even though it may come with some difficulty. You know, one of the biggest phrases out there is a starving artist. In the end, you're going to be financially okay. And there's always light where there is dark. So keep that in mind. This may come with a little bit of struggle. Things may not be a hit right away, but in the end, they'll be okay. And try not to let anxiety or fear stop you from pursuing something regarding the arts. Even if it's right now a side hustle. You know, if you're currently employed, allow yourself a side hustle, something artistic, creative. Try. I know sometimes the scariest thing to do is take a running leap off the cliff and build your wings on the way down, and to be scared and do it anyway. One of my personal big things is stage fright. Even looking back now when I was a kid and I was performing and everything, and I look back at those times when I was up on stage, and before I went out, I was a nervous wreck. And as soon as I got out there, I took a deep breath, I let it out very slowly, and I just kind of mentally focused myself on the task in front of me instead of all the people in the audience that were staring at me, you know? So that's one thing that you may have to retrain yourself to try to do. It comes with practice, it comes with hard work, and you can always start off small by playing for friends and family and all of that kind of stuff. Anyone who's willing to listen to you or look or critique what you have. Let me actually leave those out for a moment, because I'm on to the next deck. do you have to say to group 3? Yeah, especially with music and the arts of any kind. The things that usually take front and center are broken hearts, troubles in your past, walking away from something, things that are relatable, things that speak to the masses are what are usually the most lucrative. Because the more people relate to it, the more people like it, the more likely you are to make sales, quite honestly. With that throat chakra, it could very well be singing. Could even be poetry. Writing is definitely an art form. And for poetry, many times you will find that there are, well, at least hopefully when things get back to normal somewhat, don't let your past hold you back. Surrender to the divine, and the energy is gaining momentum. Ironically, that same card popped up for the group before you. So you may very well be someone who has gone through a lot in your past, and that's many times the people who go through the hardest struggles are the ones who become the most lucrative artists because they have more to say. They have more of a story to tell. They can be more relatable because of the things that they've been through. So try not to let fear, anxiety, the past, anything of that nature hold you back with regards to this. It is going to be fruitful. It is going to help you get through. And resilient. Stay strong as the evergreen trees. Joy spreads seeds of joy like a wildflower, and no doubt you will revel in the result. In path, wander on the path less traveled. What you find may surprise you. So I hope this guidance may bring you some help, may give you a little bit of a lead as to where to put your energy. And if you relate to this, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. And before you leave, I would so greatly appreciate it if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And until next time, brightest blessings and blessed be. Hello, Black Tourmaline, and welcome to your reading. Now this is meant to give you some sort of guidance as to what type of work or what type of job will best help you or suit you after everything kind of sort of returns to normal to some degree. It can even be something that you can even start working on now. It could be something that you are currently employed and looking for something else to do. So this, mind you, is just meant for guidance. If this is something that you find you're not really interested in, keep in mind that this could just be a stepping stone to something you're more passionate about. So, with that said, let's see what your card is. Leaving or travel? Interesting. Now, let's see what comes with this. Let's see to group 4. Doing nice, quick readings today. Trying to give some general guidance and assistance if I can. Okay, so Angel of Balance, maybe work-life balance, happy family. Now keep in mind that leaving or travel may be an aspect of a job, or it could very well be the job itself. You could do travel blog or YouTube channel, Instagram. People have learned to monetize traveling because it's something that they love and they're passionate about, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Now, I'm not saying that that doesn't mean that you might not rough it a bit. You might, at least initially, until things start becoming more financially gainful, but the Sun, although it looks like good things are coming. 4th chakra, the heart chakra, and all tied up. But I get in the sense of this that it's something that you're going to feel more connected to. You know, traveling, learning about new cultures, enveloping yourself in traditions and societies outside of your own bubble. So let's see, what do you have to say to group 4? I'm actually feeling pull one more. Hey, there it is. There's the money card. He's been coming up in most of the readings tonight. I keep shuffling that deck every single time. You guys watch me do it. Looks like it's going to be fruitful for you. And that's shown with Sun. And it could very well be, if you're not romantically involved right now, it could lead to that. If you are romantically involved and if you have a family, this could very well be a career path that suits all of you. You could very well travel with your entire family and make a job out of it. Homeschooling is an option. And sometimes the world experiences that you can have are going to be an even better education than any that they could ever get in a book. Okay, you're very close to achieving your goal. A new romantic cycle begins. Interestingly enough, April 8th is the new moon in Libra. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the full moon in Libra. My bad, it's the pink full moon. And luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. So, yeah, you have very fortuitous cards right now with regards to traveling as a career. Let's see what these have to say. Kindness. Take respite by a pond and be kind to yourself and others. Now keep in mind that with travel, it's important to be mindful that you're going into other people's countries. And I know that may be a very common sense thing to say, but you would be surprised at how many times people travel to other cultures and other countries expecting or assuming people are going to speak English, or expecting or assuming people are going to uphold your traditions, or that our culture is going to be widely received by other cultures. Keep in mind that before you go traveling anywhere, it's important, and I cannot emphasize this enough, try to learn some of the language. especially if you're going to a country where English may not be predominantly spoken. Please forgive the background noise. I live on a very noisy street, and people are not practicing self-quarantining like they should be. It's annoying. But also try to research and look up the traditions in the culture. Like, look up if hand signals are offensive. Try to look up to see if what cultural things are normal. I'll give an example. In many Asian countries, not just Japan, bowing is a sign of respect. So it's important to go in having done some due diligence and do research to try to learn appropriate mannerisms, appropriate body language, appropriate communication skills, even before you go there. Not just to be kind, but to be the best that you can be when you go to these cultures. Risk. Learn to grow wherever you are planted. I don't get the feeling that this has to do with financial risk necessarily, but I get the feeling this has to do with more of don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. If you're going to a country or an area where you may not know many things, it might be beneficial to get a guide or go on some sort of guided tour of specific areas. But don't be afraid to venture outside the normal thing that everybody goes to see. There may be things off the beaten track that you may not be aware of that locals can guide you as to. Might be hidden gems that most tourists don't know about when they go to these areas. So don't be afraid to communicate with the locals or find somebody to help you communicate with them and see what things they recommend. Reconnect. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows beneath in the woods. I get the feeling that reconnecting is not just about reconnecting with people, but reconnecting with yourself. As somebody who the past few years I did a bit of traveling, not a ton, but a bit. I did things and I stepped outside my comfort zone and I took a chance. And granted, one of the trips that I took was a very controlled environment. I went on a cruise. But the other one was not. I went to Ireland all by myself. I did the research on everything. I did not take any tours or connect with any guides of any kind, although I could have. I just went and I rented a car and I drove around. Granted, I will warn you that that is very expensive. If you're going to Europe, I highly recommend public transport if you can. But, you know, I stepped outside my comfort level and I did things on my own and I paced myself as I wanted to do, and I went and saw some of the things that I'd always heard about or I'd seen in photographs and I always wanted to see in person. So I found it to be a very therapeutic and healing experience. So just keep that in mind. If traveling is something that you're interested in, keep in mind you can absolutely make it into a career path. Alright? So I hope this has given you some guidance. I hope if this at all connects with you, please go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. And if you have not done so already, I would greatly appreciate it if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I wish you brightest blessings and blessed be. Hello, Citrine, and this is your reading. So this reading is meant to give some sort of guidance, especially if you are displaced right now, career-wise, or you may even be employed right now and thinking of you know, life is too short, or I want to do something else, but I'm not quite sure where to go. This is to kind of give you some sort of guidance as to something that's going to benefit you after things kind of return to normal, so to speak. Keep in mind that if this is something that doesn't really resonate with you, or isn't something that you ever considered before, or sound like something you would be passionate about, try picking another card. Or it could very well be that this is a stepping stone between what you're doing now, or something you may go into, and something you may end up being really passionate about, you know? So don't take this as, you know, this is where you're going to go, this is what you're going to do, and this is where you're stuck going. This is just to give you a general guidance, okay? So with that, your card is health. So could very well be that you're meant to work in the healthcare industry in some sort, and keep in mind before you freak out, especially with things that are going on, the healthcare industry is a very, very diversified and varied field. The portion of the healthcare industry that I am in is supportive to people on the front lines right now. It is something that there is no school for. Believe it or not, it's something that I had to learn on the job training, and that, you know, you could even do something as easy as medical coding, billing. There's so many different, you could work for the insurance companies or something of that nature. You could do something diagnostic, such as, what am I thinking of? I know there's something. Haha! This card immediately popped right out. Healer of the Ages. I mean, it may not even be healthcare industry per se. It could be do some sort of shaman work, healing in other ways. But yeah, it's a very wide variety, mixed bag. Herbalism, herbal medicine, acupuncture, massage therapist. All of these things are different healing modalities. So, Healer of the Ages. Looks like you are going to be using your higher intuition in this field. Door to romance, meaning not necessarily mean a romantic relationship, but it could be that it's something that you find you love doing after you start doing it. Envy, I get the feeling more of once you get into this and you find that you love it, you're wondering, why didn't I start this before? Fifth chakra, talking. And the thinking, man, it may be something you have to go back to school for. Sorry, I was hearing a very weird noise. But yeah. I get the feeling that this is going to be a very, even if it's not hugely financial, at least wise right off the bat, it could very well be something that brings you feeling more whole internally. Although the healthcare field can be very fruitful. I don't think I have to say that very much. You could even do Reiki. Many Reiki practitioners are currently employed by hospitals. So, there's a very huge mixed bag here. You have to say to group 5. more. Oops. That was my own fault. It's time to take action. So maybe this is something you've even been thinking about, but not really sure. Hold your vision. Meditate and contemplate. So this is giving you the guidance to take the time, try to figure out what realm in the healthcare field really draws you and interests you. It could even be something as simple as, God, people who do scans, ultrasound. There we go. Wow, that should not have been so hard to grab. But, yeah, try to keep in mind what healing modality is something that interests you. It doesn't have to be hugely expensive. You don't have to go back to school and go to become a med student and do all that kind of stuff if you don't want to. Or if you feel that, you know, it's not something you want to do at this point. It could be any number of things. Being a healer is not just necessarily something that you get called to do for financial reasons. Being a healer is literally a calling, kind of like entering the priesthood. It's something that comes with wanting to help others. The healers we currently have right now fighting this thing, they're real heroes. That may not be something that you'll have to do. There's so many different paths. Trust. The robin trusts her wings, not the branch she sits on. So I get the feeling that this is something you will need to sit and meditate on, try to figure out which of the many fields you could go down, and hold it in your mind. Even if it seems like it's something that's impossible to do, have faith that it's going to happen. Opportunities unfurl like a fern, even without warm sunlight. So you're going to have many different opportunities with this, and risk. Learn to grow wherever you are planted. Could be something that you're not necessarily thought of before. Maybe opportunities, say, I'll give an example. Say you go into massage therapy, and when the hotel industry and things start coming back there, maybe you might go work at a spa in a hotel or something of that nature. Don't be afraid to delve into things that you may not have necessarily contemplated before. That's where the risk comes in. I have a feeling where, let me draw two more. Oh, there's the prosperity card. You and your loved ones are safe. Yeah, see? I was sitting here and I'm like, why do I have a feeling that they're really anxious about this? You're going to be okay. I know, especially with what's going on in the world right now with social distancing and everything that's happening, it can be scary to think of going into any form of healthcare industry. I get it. The thought of being around people who may not be feeling well, which is why I said it's a very diverse field. It's not something that you necessarily have to deal with people who are sick. You could even do physical therapy. This could even be becoming a nurse. The world is literally your oyster when it comes to this. So I hope this resonated. If it did, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't done so already, please do hit that subscribe button before leaving. And I sincerely hope that this has given you some form of guidance. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask down below. And I will try to help in any way, make, shape, or form I can. And until next time, brightest blessings and blessed be. Hello, Herkimer Diamond, and this is your reading. Now, this reading is mainly to act as guidance, especially for those who are currently in limbo right now, especially those who may be displaced by the current events that are going on in the world. Maybe you've lost your job, maybe you are trying to reassess because you're not quite sure you'll have a job after things kind of return to normal. You could even be employed right now and looking for guidance as to what career path would be most beneficial and most suit you. So, if this doesn't resonate, do try another card. If possible, keep in mind that this is just guidance, and if this is something that you've never considered before, if you've never really thought to do, that this could even be acting as a stepping stone to give you some sort of equilibrium and financial footing so that you can pursue something you're more passionate about. Okay? So with that, let's find out what your card is. Spirituality and religion. Now, if spirituality and religion are not your thing, keep in mind this can also be a counselor card. Maybe you're one of those people who gives great advice. Maybe you are somebody that likes helping people or doing something in the service field where you are giving back, and it's not just something that is for financial gain, but something that fulfills you emotionally and spiritually as well. Spiritually, religion does not necessarily mean priesthood or something religious, although it can. But I'm just giving you that there are other meanings to this. So, what do you have to say to group 6? This is another realm that it may be something you feel called to do versus necessarily a passion or something that you considered something you wanted to do, if that makes sense. Let's see, what do you have to say to group 6? I shuffle however long I'm guided to do. So, don't worry, I'm keeping these videos nice and short. So, you don't have to sit and for 20-30 minutes. It's just a quick video. So let's see. Man holding a heart doesn't necessarily mean romance, although it could. But it could also mean that it's something that maybe you didn't necessarily consider before, and something you find that you grow to love. It does look like it's going to be fruitful, whatever it is. Man, these two cards in particular keep coming up repeatedly. No matter how much I shuffle this deck, no matter how I scatter the cards, they keep coming up. So this is definitely something that's going to involve your higher intuition, spirituality and religion. Could very well just be that you are a spiritual mentor or guide to people. You could end up doing something that I'm currently doing. Goddess of the Moon is about intuition, uncovering. Yeah, it's mainly about uncovering your own spirituality. Even second chakra, solar plexus or sacral. I always get them confused. But second chakra, let's look at the card. I believe this one came up already for somebody. Intimacy and creativity. It did. The second chakra vibrates in the energy of the beautiful angel Ariel. She sends a bright orange energy promoting inspired creativity and greater comfort with intimacy. When this card appears upright, it's urging you to get creative. Let yourself reach out into the unexplored areas of self-expression and new projects that may have a more creative approach. This is also a time when the energies of closeness with others and nurturing yourself can flow more freely. You can now open yourself to the emotional intimacy that may be coming your way. So nurture yourself and be ready to receive the affection and camaraderie of the resonant souls around you. I'm feeling pull one more. Angel of Love. You could even become a therapist for couples. This could very well have something to do with psychology or therapy of some sort. So, just putting that out there. This isn't to say that you won't find love if you're somebody who's currently looking for that, but with regards to career, I get more of the sense that it's something that you are going to find that you love doing. One of the biggest things that I always find is helping others is very enriching and fulfilling and beneficial to your own self. Cards have to say. Expect powerful change. So definitely connecting with that intuition with these two cards in particular. You may be going through a spiritual shift yourself. You may be going through an awakening process. I'll link the video that I did about awakenings somewhere up here, to try to give you some sort of guidance with that, if that's something that you are in fact going through. The answers you need are coming. It's time to release negativity. So definitely work on doing spiritual cleansings. Definitely work on your shadow work. Facing the things that you don't necessarily want to look at. Dealing with them, allowing yourself to heal from them. All that fun stuff that no one ever wants to do, but it's always happier that they did it in the end. Sorry, my puppy's in here. First card, Wish. Make a wish with a dandelion in the wind. Perfect time of year for that, because the dandelion should be coming up any time now. Origins, remember your roots. And the night, find comfort in the night where the world switches off and the stars burn bright. So a lot of intuition work is coming here. The spirituality and religion, I get the feeling that maybe you've been feeling this calling to delve more into spiritual things. It could be that you're feeling called to go into paganism even, or change even religious focus. That's also a possibility. But I do get the feeling of counselor of some sort, spiritual counseling, helping others. It could even be like Boys and Girls Club, something of that nature, where you're mentoring people who may need that extra TLC and love and care. So I hope this reading has been helpful of some kind. If you resonated with it, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't done so already, I would greatly appreciate it if you wouldn't mind subscribing before you leave. And until next time, I wish you brightest blessings and blessed be. Hello, Angel Aura Quartz, and welcome to your reading. So this reading is meant to be a form of guidance, especially if you are displaced at this time, career-wise, with the current climate going on in the world. This could also be if you are currently employed, maybe you're looking for another path to go down with your career. And keep in mind that if you do not personally resonate with this card, if it's something that doesn't really seem like it would fit for you, feel free to try a different card. Or also keep in mind that this, whatever has been determined, it would be most beneficial for you once things kind of return to normal, or something you could start focusing on right now while we're in this chaotic self-restriction, I guess you could say. That this could just be a stepping stone onto the path of something else that you find that you really love. So maybe this might give you some gainful prosperity so that you can pour some money into education or anything of that nature that you feel would be a different path that you would feel that you would more prefer. So, with that said, finances. So, finances could be a number of different things. You could be a bookkeeper for a business or hospital. You could do taxes. You could be even attorney of some sort for estate planning. There's a number of different fields you could go down. So what do you have to say to group 7? It could even be something with the stock market, or delving into things like e-commerce. Maybe even Bitcoin. Could be coaching people how to build their wealth. There's so many different avenues you could go down with finance. This will be a nice short reading, so don't worry. So, woman holding a heart doesn't necessarily mean love interest, but it could just be that this is something you didn't necessarily think of, but grow to love. Storm warning may very well have, keep in mind there's always light no matter what kind of storm is coming. We know that the current financial world right now is in a lot of chaos. We see that with the stock markets going crazy every day. We see people dumping stock, buying stock, all that kind of stuff. So everything's very chaotic right now, which is probably why the storm warning came up. Garden in the gate has to do with protecting. Envy. May have to deal with people who are envious of financial wealth or want it. It might be you are going to help them attain it. Rest and rejuvenation, and I'm feeling man holding heart. So maybe there is some sort of relationship to come in with this. Maybe it's something that you're going to delve into with a spouse or loved one of some sort. Garden in the gate. Let me just take a look here. I get the feeling of helping people recover their financial stability. With however things are chaotic right now. And you do have a lot of people who are currently displaced, very envious of the people who have while they do not. You have a number of people who are dumping stocks and all that kind of stuff, like I just said. But you see people also protecting themselves and waiting it out. And I just get from this that the field that will be beneficial to you after everything kind of settles is helping people regain some sort of financial equilibrium. So financial planning is a big one that I sense with this one. Let's see, what do you have to say to group 7? And keep in mind, if you are somebody who is currently displaced right now, part of unemployment, I believe, is going back to school for something else. So if you are good with numbers, or if you are somebody who cares about helping people regain some sort of financial footing and assistance, this might be a career field for you. Group 7. What do you have to say to group 7? I'm very much sensing like building portfolios, diversifying investments. This may be something that you didn't necessarily contemplate doing and that you find you love doing. Conclusions are within reach. Your hard work is paying off. And don't let pride get in your way. Yeah, that's one thing that... Here's the thing that I have personally encountered with some financial planners. And keep in mind to be mindful of whom you go to work for and where you get your education, so to speak, your foot in the door. Back early on, when I was looking at different jobs and things of that nature, this is when, of course I'm going to sound ancient right now, but when early on there wasn't a lot of jobs available that you could apply for online. And one company that pursued me at one point was the company Ameriprise, which is a financial planning investment firm affiliated with one of the credit card companies, and I don't remember which one. But I remember when I went into the interview, and they had you take a test first to see if you would be a good fit for their company. And one of the questions, I distinctly remember this, was, would you pressure your client to make an investment that they don't feel comfortable doing if it is something that the firm recommends or would be beneficial to the firm, even if it's something that the client doesn't want to do? And I read that and I'm like, no. And I knew as soon as I got to that question, I'm like, no, this is not going to be a good fit for me at all, because I'm not a pushy person. I am somebody who listens to people. I am somebody who, if somebody doesn't want to do something, I'm not going to strong arm them into doing it. So keep in mind that that's something you want to keep in mind if this is a career field that you feel is something that you may want to try out. Just be careful where you go and what field, company, group you may go to work for. Now, I'm not trying to badmouth Ameriprise in any way, shape, or form. It's just, I knew when I got to that test and that was a question on there, I'm like, no, this isn't going to be for me. This place isn't for me. So, reconnect. Secrets lurk in the captive shadows deep in the woods. Learn. Take a lesson from the owls. Deeply observe the night, and you'll become a little wiser in the day. And patience. Everything can be accomplished at nature's pace. And that actually makes a lot of sense for this, because stocks and all that kind of stuff, the financial market, all of that isn't going to just rebound overnight. It's going to take time. You are going to have to learn how things are done and also how things have shifted after everything starts coming back to normal. And you can start educating yourself on this stuff now. I mean, I have a cousin who, he went to college, but he didn't go to college for this, and he's all self-taught with regards to managing stocks and all that kind of stuff, and he's done very well for himself. So it doesn't hurt to start learning now if that's something that you feel might be a place of interest. It can be a field that's very fruitful. My only word of caution is to make sure you retain your honor. Make sure you don't let greed in the financial world change you from being somebody who is mindful of others into being all about the mighty dollar, especially if you're coming from a place where you're struggling right now. And I know that's hard to say, and I know it's easy to think, oh, I'll never let money change me or anything of that nature, but you'd be surprised. So that's my little word of caution. And I hope this reading has given you some sort of help. If you have resonated with this, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. And before you leave, I would be oh so grateful if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button. And until next time, I wish you brightest blessings and blessed be. Rainbow Moonstone, last but not least, this is your reading. Keep in mind, the goal of this reading is to help, especially anyone who's currently displaced, who is facing some sort of financial or job upheaval. You're not quite sure you're going to have your job when things sort of settle and start getting back to normal. Or you could be somebody who is currently gainfully employed and just looking for a change of pace because life is short and you just want something different. Keep in mind that this card, if it doesn't resonate for you, feel free to try any of the other cards in this reading. Also, if this is something you've never considered before or not really something that sounds interesting to you, keep in mind that this could be just a stepping stone onto something else that you may enjoy more. So this may be the way that you gain some sort of financial freedom or prosperity in order to enable you to pursue another avenue or another career field. That is something that resonates more with you. So that's always a possibility. And with that, we have our writers. Now this could be any number of things. It could be that you enjoy writing books. It could be that you enjoy writing articles. You could become a journalist. You could write poetry. You could write short stories. You could do blogs. I mean, the world is your oyster when it comes to writing. There's many, 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 many different ways you can interpret this. So, 8. You have to say to group 8. This is just going to be a short little reading. It's just I always shuffle on film or on camera so you can see I'm not stuck in the deck. So how is everybody doing? Sorry, I'm a little loopy now. I forgot how tiring doing 8 readings is. A lot of channeling, a lot of energy poured into this. Ooh, hostility. So maybe even a story about door to personal healing and happiness. Attachment. I'm getting story ideas. Cornucopia is plentiful. Angel of balance. I get the feeling like you're going to find some sort of equilibrium with this. It may not be something that's wide received initially, but I get the feeling that you are going to get some sort of a fan base. These could also be genres that you feel inspired to do. Man, you're getting all the money cards. That's about protection. Magician in the mirror. Let me look that one up because I always forget that card. I don't know why. Don't you dare. Knowing and using your true value. This card upright represents the culmination of your personal and spiritual power at this time. In the magician's left hand is a flame of passion and action. In his right hand is a vortex of water and the light of reflection. This is a highly beneficial card. This highly beneficial card is telling you that you are the magician. So you are basically the weaver of worlds. Whatever form of writing you are looking at going into, I'm going to tell you it's going to get you bucks. You have cornucopia, you have door to value. Those are two big money cards. Door to personal healing and happiness. So you'll find catharsis and find writing very cathartic. Letting go of attachments, letting go of hostilities. Sometimes writing stories and writing worlds can allow you to work through things that, you know, you may not find another way to do so. We have to say to group 8. Say to group 8. My advice is to try to brush up on your grammar, writing skills, anything of that nature. Okay. Meditate and contemplate. You are good enough, so have faith in yourself. Meditating and contemplating, I have a feeling, has something to do with storylines. If you feel stuck or blocked, especially, your commitment is being tested. A new start is coming. And the answers you need are coming. So keep in mind that if this is something that you're not really sure of, you're gonna have signs that you're on the right path. Try not to let anxiety, try not to let distractions pull you away from pursuing what it is you love. Hell, writing could even be songwriting. It's a very diverse field. Let's see what the Whispering Woods has to say. Could even be a scriptwriter. Movies. Joy. Spread seeds of joy like a wildflower, and no doubt you will revel in the result. Music. What did I say? Songwriter. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the woods, if only we listen. Now keep in mind this card doesn't necessarily mean songwriting. It just means allowing the flow of that creativity to work through you. To allow it to come through you and allow yourself to channel it and be able to put it down on paper. Opportunities. Unfurl like a fern, even without warm sunlight. So it looks like opportunities that you may not have considered before may come to you as a result of doing some form of writing. Clearing, make room for the growth. So try to release old attachments. Try to release anything that no longer serves you. If you have friends who are being demanding and trying to enforce you to put their needs ahead of your own, it's time to, put the brakes on those people, set them to the side, or cut ties with them completely and focus on what is right for you. You have to put yourself first. Change. Falling leaves do not signify the end, but the beginning of a fruitful season. So it could very well be that you start seeing some prosperity and fruitfulness of this come autumn, especially if you start working on it now. This could even be comic books. I mean, there's so many things you could do with writing. Try to find your niche and pursue it and learn to hone and develop your craft. So I hope this reading is helpful. I hope it has given you some guidance. If you resonate with it, please let me know in the comments down below. If you wouldn't mind, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button before you leave, if you haven't done so already. And if things work out to your benefit with writing, please do keep me informed. I do love hearing when people say or let me know whether or not my readings or my guidance has given them any sort of accurate assistance. And yeah, with that, until next time, I wish you brightest blessings and blessed be.